Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Evangelina Rattray. I'm a 15-year-old author and that's all you need to know about me. But for today's video, I'm so excited for it because I'm going to be showing you guys how I outline my novels. I've gotten this question so many times and I'm just like, I can't explain it to you because it's going to take too long, but now I'm actually taking time to create an in-depth video. If you follow my Instagram, which like most of you probably are, you know that I'm working on my third book right now, so that's why I am choosing to do this video, because I'm starting the outlining process. So I'm just like, you know what, this is a good time. So basically we're just gonna get started. So I already have a brand new outline document made, just Times New Roman 12-point font because industry standard, and that's my favorite. So yeah, in my other document, I just want to show you guys, this is what I do before I outline. I mean, it's kind of an outline, but it's more of a plot summary, even though it's super freaking long. So this is about half of it. I have not finished it, but I have 3 pages here. It's basically saying all of the events in the story, beginning to the end. And that's like a very long process, but I basically do this just because I want to know all the scenes beforehand so that I am not like trying to brainstorm scenes, or so that I don't underwrite, because I'm a huge underwriter. I just like kind of want it to be like snappy, and I forget to add like filler scenes and stuff, which are not necessarily like needed, but we gotta have the filler scenes. Like sometimes they're just so fun, and like also they add more depth to your book, and yeah, kind of just need them in order for it to be a novel. Otherwise it'd be like a novella or a short story. Anyways, while I do this, I always listen to music. As you guys know, Cigarettes After Sex all the way. I also have a million other playlists, and yeah, I was listening to Olivia Dean today, so that's what's on my thing. Anyways, if you want to be like me and listen to music, listen to Cigarettes After Sex, because it's like the only music with lyrics that I can actually focus while listening to. So yeah, and it's just my favorite of all time. Anyways, so to start the outline, I'm going to start with the character descriptions, because those are things that are really important. Because if you are writing in like first person or something, you need to know the personality of your character. You need to know their character development. You need to know all of that in order to write from their perspective. Otherwise it's gonna be kind of flat. It's gonna be kind of like you're the one narrating it instead of your character. Y'all are different people unless it's like self-insert. So I'm gonna just start with saying character 1, or just 1, and below I'm just gonna put some like personality traits, like maybe tone of their voice, sense of humor, like that kind of thing. So if this character is particularly emotional and very literal, you could put that there. If this character starts off being super closed off and then develops to be more open, I would put that there, because that's, if it's at the beginning of your document, you can just keep looking back at that and then that's what you remember to do. So like that's a general description. And then I always actually I divide them first by, okay, so the first one, this is gonna be internal description. This is their internal right now, and then their external. So that's like the description of your character. And for example, your character is tall, like 6 feet tall. You can put that in there. Wonderful. So then if you are talking about this character, that's how you can describe them in the story, and you don't have to just like think stuff up. You could say their style of clothing. You could say they dress like coquette. You can describe their hair, their eyes, their skin. Basically, this is also how you're gonna create the image of your character, because you might already know what your character looks like inside your brain, but you have to communicate that with the reader, unless you want it to be a character that's like open to interpretation, and it doesn't really matter. This is character development up here, like internally, but we can also have character development externally, which would be like having friends. You can say that because that's external, not really internal, you know? So that's just like an example, and then I would do that for all my main characters. I don't really do that for my secondary characters. I kind of just like go with the flow. Sometimes for my minor characters, I will actually, no, I do give them descriptions. Oh, and also put their age down. Girl, put their age down. I'm just saying 16. Because that's a really big part of this. So basically, this is just like, for minor characters, I usually just do their appearance. So just like physical, and then say like their social circle. Oh, wow, that was really good spelling. And then you could say like, it's their age, I guess. So I would just describe them like that, not in as much depth as a main character. And I am not putting like individual, like super in-depth character arcs, because that's already like in my plot over here. But after we do all of our characters, I am going to do world building. So you don't really need to do that much for world building if it's contemporary, but you kind of just want to describe it, where they are, what they're doing. So if they're in like New York City, private school, they go to a private school. It takes place in the beginning, at least in the winter. So yeah, I just do that. But if it's like fantasy or dystopian, I would go way more into depth. In the sky, dragons, like describing everything in the way it is. Why, like the ruler would say like powers, and that would also be character descriptions. But if there's like a general power that everybody has, I would put that there. Anything that's crucial to the world that the character might not feel the need to explain, because it's like so well known in their society already that they don't really want to talk about it, because like boring, yawning. I would say like everyone's destiny is based on their parents, which kind of an Ever After High / Descendants reference. But like, yeah, you see what I mean? This is like general description of the world, and if you want to go more into depth about your world building, please do, because world building is so important. After the world building, this is where this plot comes in handy, because girl, you do not want to be looking at this long summary for that long. Also, my computer fan is super loud if you can hear that. I'm sorry. Okay, this is like first act, second act, third act. That makes it seem complicated to me. I just say beginning, middle, end, but it doesn't really matter. I guess we can do first act. Just why everything is the way it is, establishing the rising action, saying like basically foreshadowing the conflict. Yeah, just introducing everything. That's like what that is. If you have taken an English class in school before, you know that they want rising action, exposition, that fun stuff. We're gonna have the second act, which is the fun act, which is conflict. Yay! Figuring out how to get out of the conflict and trying to get to that falling action, that resolution, but you're not there yet, because that's third act. So then third act would be falling action, resolution is what's gonna be your third act, basically. And then obviously you're gonna adapt these to your plot, and I wouldn't put all the individual scenes in there. I would just say the basic thing. This is like how I described it so far. So characters, world, and then dividing it into those acts. And I'm just gonna put in parentheses like right down here, less specific, because you already got your entire thing over here. You don't need this to be as specific as well. Now I'm gonna put tropes, because sometimes if you want to have tropes in it, you kind of forget about the tropes unless they're like the main idea of the story. So like if you have like a minor one that's like the one bed trope or something, like that's not the main idea of the story, so like you might not remember it. So if the major one was fake dating, like my second novel, a minor one bed trope. I also like to do this. Okay, actually I should have done this over by the world, but I want to put the vibe of it, you know? Because obviously the seasons could be in the world, but you could also put it in the vibe, because the vibe is like the vibe, you know? If you want to be like Twilight, it could be like rainy, blue, because like that filter that they have on it, it's like greenish blue. Depressing, mysterious, that kind of thing. Unrelated to Twilight, but like you could say like Claro Fall. That's like good, because that's more specific. Then you know how it feels, like how you feel when you're listening to a certain genre of music or a certain artist. You could put that in there if you want the book to feel like that, because then you'll remember to make the book feel like that, you know? After this, maybe above the tropes, we can say the timeline, because the timeline is the thing that I struggle with the most when I'm writing, because I kind of just go on to the days and I like forget when things happen. For this timeline, basically you can have like day of the week the story starts on, and then like for all of the events, every single one, every event that happens, every new day, you write it down in the freaking timeline, okay? Because I guarantee you, actually I don't guarantee you, but like I'm assuming that your book is gonna reference past events in the future. So you're gonna wanna be like, remember what we did 2 days ago? But if you don't remember it was 2 days ago, you might say, oh, it was 2 weeks ago. But it wasn't 2 weeks ago, it was 2 days ago. You just didn't remember because you didn't have that timeline. So you gotta have the timeline. You could say the day that ends on. So yeah, this is basic rundown of how I outline my novels and how you can outline them too. Obviously you can add stuff. Obviously you don't have to include everything that I put in here because some of it's unnecessary, but I like it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around when I post once a month, because I literally can't be bothered. Also, I'm recovering from pneumonia, so if this video is really quiet, it's because I can hear myself really loudly in my plugged ears. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.